Okay, so everyone has this worksheet out. This is the review worksheet from our Unit 6, packet number 2. First one, solve the proportions. Do you guys know how to do this? You should know how to do this. What's the answer, those of you that did it? D. Did I hear D? Yeah. D is correct, because when you multiply, you get 35 times 8. What's 35 times 8? Anybody do that? What is it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Thank you. 280 equals 14x. And then you go through and divide both sides by 14. Yes? Okay. And when you divide it, x equals 20. Number 2. What you have to remember with number 2, when you do the 45 times 3, what do you get for 45 times 3? Anybody have that? 135 equals, now here, tell me if I did this correctly, 5x plus 10. No, what am I supposed to do there? Distribute. It's 5 times the quantity of x plus 10. 5 times all of that numerator. So distribute, what does that give me? 5x plus what? So 135 equals 5x plus 50. Don't forget, you do have to show your steps on the test. I do check your work. Put your phones away, please. Subtract both sides by 50. Does anybody have that? What's 135 minus 50? Thank you. 5x equals 85. And then we go and divide both sides by what? Okay, so on the test on block day, should I see your work just like this? Yes, you're not just skipping steps and jumping around. I need to see your work. What is 85 divided by 5? 17. Questions on 1 or 2? Okay, number 3. Given triangle KLM is similar to triangle KQP, which side below makes the proportion true? Okay, what I would suggest is redrawing them. They're telling you that the smaller triangle is similar to the larger. So do this, KLM, and for the bigger triangle, what is it? K and the two bottom ones are what? QP. Okay, so let's look at the proportion they've set up. They've put KQ, that's this side here, KQ over KL. Do those two sides correspond? Yes? Can you see that? KQ and KL, they're the first two there. Over or equals blank over KM. Which one is KM going to match with? KP. And you can see that here as well. KM is the first and last, and KP is the first and last. So what goes here in the numerator? KP. Yes? You do not have to redraw. No, you do not. You could, when I did mine, I didn't redraw. I just used my similarity statement here. I followed KQ with KL, first two and first two, that's good. And then KM is the first and last, and KP is the first and last, and you're good. All right, good question. Number 4, which proportion is accurate for the diagram shown? Okay, are we ready? Let's check each one. D over H equals C over K. Does that make any kind of sense? No. D over H equals K over C. Does that make sense? No? D over H equals C over C plus K. How about that one? We haven't really seen one like this before, and it won't be this complicated on the test. I'm just going to check the next one. D over H equals C over C minus K. Okay. This is D, this is M, this is C, this is K. Do we all agree? Now, ignoring these answers, the way we would have wrote it was C over K equals D over M. Yes or no? Or C over D equals K over M. Would that work as well? Yes. Okay. They threw this whole length here is H. They gave that to us. Did they give us this whole length over here? No. No, they did not. So what would I call it? I can't just call it Q. I'd have to use the letters given. So what would I call it? C plus K or C minus K? C plus K. Yes? Okay, so we already said it's not these two, so it's one of these. D over H, D over H. D over the whole side is H equals C over the whole side, which is what? Which one is it then, C or D? C. Again, it's not going to be that complicated. It'll be more like this here. Got it? All right. A 6-foot boy has a shadow that is 4 feet. At the same time of day, a tree has a shadow that is 24 feet. What is the height of the tree? If it's the same time of day, then these two triangles are what? Not congruent, but what? Starts with an S. Similar. Okay, so I'm going to call, do you want to call the height of the tree X or H? It's up to you. X, okay. Do you guys agree X is what we're solving for, the height of the tree? Give you passes. All right, yes, we're looking for the height of the tree. So there's a variety of ways, thank you, to set up your proportion.
We'll also be leaving for French pictures at 10:40.
Do you have that pass?
Yeah, it's in.
Okay, so there's a variety of ways to set up this proportion. I'm going to start with the child's height. 6 over, what would I use over here? X or 24? So about 10:35? Because it says 10. Okay. All right, this is out right now. All right, guys, I'm going to repeat what I just asked. If I'm doing the height of the boy, I need to compare it to the height of the tree. Would I use X or 24? X. Thank you. 6 over X equals 4 is the shadow of the boy. What's the shadow of the tree? Do you guys see that? All right, you do need to know how to set these up for the test. 6 over X, 4 over 24. What if somebody did 6 over 4 and X over 24? Would that be the same thing? How do we check? We cross multiply. 24 times 6 is going to be equal to 24 times 6, and X times 4 is equivalent to 4 times X. Would it equal the same thing? Yes. 4X equals, that's a messy 24, but what is 24 times 6? 144? And then divide both sides by 4, and what do you get? 36. I'm going to pause here. In case anyone does not have calculators, you will need them, so come up and grab one. You can have maybe the middle people come up and grab for you. Can you what? 10:35. All right. Which similarity statement below is true for the two triangles? We do have to find missing angles. How do I find angle A? What should you do? Add these two and subtract from, can you guys do that now? Add these two and subtract them from 180 and tell me what you end up with. Nobody's found it yet?
125.
Thank you. 125. All right, do the same thing for this missing angle. 125 plus 25. See what this missing angle is? What is it? 30. Are the two triangles similar? Yes. Yes, they are. It tells us to write the similarity statement, so they must be similar. Can anybody tell me by which similarity it is? The angle, side, or side? Which one is it? I heard somebody whisper it. The three we have, I heard somebody say it. Angle, side, or side. It is angle, because they have at least two angles. If they have two angles that are the same, the third angle has to be the same. Make sense? All right. I'm going to color them only so that it's easier when I'm reading this. So since this is, nope, I'm not going to use purple. 125, A matches with Y. 30 matches with that 30, B and X. And 25 is C and Z. All right. BCA. BCA is green, pink, blue. Green, pink, blue, XYZ. XYZ. Did that work? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did it work on the first one? Yes, it did. If it didn't, then you would keep checking. Let's just say, for example, this was the first one we checked. ABC. ABC is pink, green, blue. Pink, green, blue. ZYX. Is that the same order? No. So when you're checking the other ones, you will see the colors of the order doesn't match. So you just keep checking until you find the one that does. Questions on number 6? All right, number 7. If A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of triangle ABC under dilation with a scale factor of 2.5, centered at the origin, if AB is 8 units, what is the length of A prime, B prime? Okay, the key point here is that they said it's centered where? At the origin. Actually, it doesn't even matter where it's centered because we're not looking at ordered pairs, we're looking at the length. When we did our dilation lesson, do you guys remember when we did that dilation lesson and we had our notes? Yes or no? What happens to each side? Like say the scale factor was 2, did the image get bigger or smaller? How much bigger? Twice as big, and you just multiplied each length by 2 and it gave you the new length, the new image, right? And we mathematically found it, but it did work, yes or no? Okay, so if they give us the original length is 8 and the scale factor is 2.5, how do I find the length of A prime, B prime? What am I going to multiply 8 by? 2.5. 8 times 2.5. You take your length and multiply it by your scale factor. It'll always give you the length of your new image. Anybody have it? What is it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. 20. Okay. Now, how could you check that? What's the scale factor formula for dilations? And this is a dilation. Old over new or new over old? New over old. Our new length is 20. What was the old length? 8, and if you plug in your calculator 20 divided by 8, what does that give you? And is that the scale factor? Yes. Questions on that one? This is a definite on the test. All of these are. Questions on 1 through 7. All right, back page. Using the diagram below, the two triangles are similar. Find measure of angle B, L, and find the scale factor. Okay. Looking here, what angle does B correspond with? J. Do they give us the measure of angle J? What is it? 100. So what is B? Okay. Measure of angle L. Looking at our statement up above, L is the last letter here. What does L correspond with? C. And where is C? Oh, did they give us C? No, but we just found B is what? So if we know B is 100, do we have enough to find C? Yes. 100 plus 25 subtract from 180. Can you guys do that now? What is it? C is 55. So if C is 55 and we're looking for L, and L is congruent to C, what is L? 55. Questions on how we found part A or B? Okay, find the scale factor of the smaller triangle to the larger. Smaller to the larger. It's not new over old. They're specific, and it says small to large. Okay, what you have to do is find two sides that match. What is the only side length they give me in the larger triangle? They only give me one. 22, which is GJ. Now, you can kind of tell because the image has not been rotated. What does GJ correspond with? The 18 or the 14? With the AB? Now, say it's been rotated and it's really hard to tell. Look at your statement here. Where do we have it? GJ are the first two letters. What are the first two letters over here? So did you guys tell me the right one? Is it the 18? Yes or no? Yes. So it says small to large. What goes in the top of my fraction? The 18 or the 22? So 18 over 22. Can we reduce that? Yes, and do not change it to a decimal. Leave it as a fraction. What divides into 18 that also divides into 22? 2. What's 18 divided by 2? And 22 divided by 2? So what's the scale factor? 9/11ths. Okay, these two images are similar. It asks us to find the measure of angle A. Let's see, A is here. What does A correspond with? W. Did they give us W in this picture? What is it? 85. I'm going to go ahead and put the 85 over here. A is 85. Where is P? P is the second letter in my second image. What does P correspond with? B. And what is B? 120. Questions? We're working on the review. Okay. Determine if the triangles are similar. And they give you these images. These are on the test. Got it? They are on the test. Number 10 is kind of tricky. It's very tricky. It is a redraw. First off, do you guys see the F's here where these angles are congruent and these angles?
Yes.
are congruent, and I'm marking the wrong ones. Yes? Okay. Did they give me some side measurements? Actually, I'm going to take a big step back. And can anybody, I just assumed, and I cannot assume, can anybody tell me why I'm not allowed to make those markings in there? There's a reason why I'm not allowed to. I assumed, and I shouldn't assume. Yes?
Because it doesn't show like a parallel line.
Good job. Can you repeat that one more time, a little louder for everyone to hear?
Because it doesn't show like a parallel lines.
Did you guys hear her? Do you guys agree with her?
Yes.
She said it does not show that these two lines were parallel. It's only if, remember, the arms of my F are parallel that I can mark those as corresponding angles. So I cannot do that. I'm still going to have to redraw. Here is my smaller triangle. What is this side right here? This is TL. It is 9. And this is LZ. What is LZ? 18. Okay, I'm going to draw my bigger triangle here. This is CLH. What's the length of CL? Where are you guys getting 15 from? There's no 15 anywhere. What is it? 6 plus 9. And then what's the length of LH? 30. Okay, questions so far? So you're taking the test, you come across this problem. You come across this section. What are the 3 similarities that we can use? Angle, angle, side, angle, side, 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 side. Okay, they gave me 2 sides. Did they give me the 3rd side? They did not. Can I use Pythagorean's theorem to find the 3rd side? Why not? I can only use Pythagorean's theorem if I know it's what type of triangle. A right triangle. Did they tell us it's a right triangle? No. Okay, so I can't use side, 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 which leaves me with either angle, angle, or side, angle, side. Any thoughts of which one I'm probably going to use? Side, angle, side. Now, in order to use side, angle, side, they need to have a sandwiched angle that is congruent. Is it congruent? Yes. Why? Because the 2 triangles, good job, they share that angle. Do you guys see that? There and there. Do the 2 triangles, the small and the big, share that same corner right there? Okay, so they have a congruent angle that's sandwiched between 2 sides. In order for this to be similar, do the 2 corresponding sides have to be congruent or proportional? Proportional. So this is where we do our small over small and large over large. Do you guys remember that? Okay, so 9 over, what's my smaller side here? Over what? 15 equals 18 over 30. Let's reduce each one. What goes into 9 and 15? 3. 9 divided by 3? 3 over what? 5. And what goes into 15? I'm sorry, 18 and 30? 2. I heard someone say 6. 3 does. Does 6 go into it as well? 18 divided by 6? 30 divided by 6? Did they come out to be equal? So the side lengths are not congruent, but they are what? Starts with the P? Proportional. So after all this work, are the 2 triangles similar? Yes. Which similarity piece would we write? Side, angle, side is correct. Side, angle, side, similarity. What? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Side, angle, side, similarity. Okay. And what is the similarity statement? TLZ. TLZ is similar to what? CLH. All right. Questions. That one was a little intense, but definitely something we can work through. Okay. Next one. What at the very least can I mark on this smaller triangle over here? There's something I can mark in that smaller triangle. Yes. Louder. Vertical angles. Good. Is this angle right here also 42? Yes. Okay. So if this is 42 and that's 88, do I have enough to find angle R? Okay, go ahead and do that now. Add and subtract from 180. And while you're at it, find angle D, because you also have enough to find angle D. Anybody have R yet? 50. Anybody have D? Getting it? 68. All right. Am I going to use anything up here that has side lengths? No, I don't have any side lengths. So angle is my best bet. Yes. Angle means two angles are congruent. Do I have two corresponding angles that are congruent? Yes or no? No, I have one, the 42 and the 42. Is that enough? No, it is not. So what would I put up there? Not similar. I'm going to put an X on that one and not similar. You can either write not similar in both, but as I was grading the quizzes yesterday, I noticed a handful of you put not similar, but you still put a similarity statement up here. Don't. Either cross it out or write not similar in both. Got it? Okay. Anybody know how to do this one? I'll give you a hint. Parallel lines. Yes. Beautiful. Did you guys hear him? Okay. When lines are parallel, cut by a transversal, say what you said one more time. What did you say? Alternate interior angles are congruent. So are these two angles congruent right there? Yes, do you remember the Z? If the arms of your Z are parallel, then your alternate interior angles are congruent. Do I have another Z going the other way? Can you see that going this way? I have the same set of parallel lines cut by a different transversal. Do you guys see that? That means this angle is also congruent to that angle. Now, I don't need to mark the vertical angles, but are the vertical angles congruent as well? Yes? Okay, so are these two similar? By which one? Angle. So let's see, I have RQS. RQS, that's 213. Over here, what would the 213 look like? Gosh darn it, is that letter cut off? That is supposed to be a U, sorry. So, RQS, the 213, what would I have? Louder? UTS. All right, everybody with 13? Yes. Make sure you sign out. Okay, this one here. Any thoughts? Yes, no, maybe so? Anything we can do? What angle, what's the measure of angle LMP? Do I have enough to know what angle LMP measures? 90. Do we know that if this is 90, then this must be 90? Yes or no? Now, you can rotate it and redraw it. You can redraw it in your brain. Can any of you look at this and say yes or no? Are these two similar?
Yes.
And if so, by which one? I heard somebody whisper it. Okay, why is it angle, angle?
I have no idea. That's just what she whispered.
That's just what she whispered. Who was she? Okay, why is it angle, angle?
There's two angle markings.
Do you guys see that? Are these two angles congruent? Are those two angles congruent? Is that enough to say the two triangles are similar? Yes. If it helps you, you can take this one right here and redraw it like that one. There's M, N, P. P is the similar to L, and M is the right angle. So if it helps you, again, you don't have to, but you can redraw it if it helps to see the order. Okay, let's see, LMP. LMP, you can use this one, but if you didn't redraw it, let's pretend you didn't. LMP goes from the single marking to the right angle to no marking. Single, right angle, no marking. What would the order be? What is it? PMN. And do I get the same thing here? PMN. Yes? Okay, last one in this section. Okay, I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own because what did they give you on this one?
Sides.
Did they give you all three sides?
Yes.
So if anything, which one are we going to test? Side, side, side. Three corresponding sides have to be congruent or proportional. So this is where you do small over small, medium over medium, and large over large. Reduce all your fractions and see if they all come out the same. If they do, then yes, they are similar. Can anybody tell me your extended proportions? What would it be? 6 over 8 equals 9 over what? 12 equals 15 over 20. Reduce each one. Let me know when you guys are done. Okay. Did 6/8 reduce to 3/4? What about the 9/12? And the 15/20? What if 2 of them reduced to 3/4 and the last one did not? Would it still be okay? No, but since they all came out to be the same, are they similar? Yes. By which one? Side, side, side. All right, let's see if we can follow this. KGN. KGN goes up the medium and then the large side. Medium, large side. So medium, large side, what would it be? H what? HLA. These right here are probably the trickiest for kids on the test. Do you feel like these are a little trickier than the others? Anyone feel that way? Okay, so make sure you go through, you study, you review, you look over the ones on the test, you look over the ones in your packet. Questions before I move on to 15 and 16. Okay, the following figures are similar. Find the values of the variables. What do I need to find first for this one? It didn't ask me to find it, but what do I need to find first? Thank you. The scale factor. Now, in order to find the scale factor, I need to find two sides that match. So, x with 4, 5 with what?
Y.
With y, and 6 with 18. So which set am I going to use? The 4x, the 5y, or the 618 to find my scale factor? 618. It didn't specify, and I told you guys a while back, if it doesn't specify, go from left to Right, so what would it be? 6 over 18. Now, we can reduce it or leave it and use that to find the x and the y. Reduce or leave it? Reduce. What is 6 over 18 reduced to? 1/3. So 1/3 is not my answer, but it is my what? My scale factor. All right, let's use that now. Let's find x first, only because x comes first in the alphabet. X corresponds with which side? X corresponds with what side? 4. If I'm using the scale factor, 4 over x or x over 4, and it does matter. 4 over x equals the scale factor of 1/3. Go ahead and do that now. What does x equal? 12. All right, do the same thing to find the y. What side does y correspond with? Y is here. Okay, so 5 over y or y over 5, and it does matter. 5 over y, because I'm using my scale factor, which is 1/3. Y equals what? 15. Questions? I think I want to change number 16. Can we not do it?
How do you find x?
Well, this one's tricky because there's 2 problems in one. Let me just check what the rest looks like. There's some of each. I am going to cross these out. And after this, I'm going to hand back quizzes. So let's just do this one. So I'm going to pretend that those numbers were not there because we can do it. We can find x and we can find y, but I do not want to make it more complicated than it needs to be. If you want to see how to find, what did I just white out? If you want to see how to find y later, I can show you. Okay, there was one like this on the quiz, and a handful of you guys were confused on which formula to use. Is this the one, yes or no, where I do 36 over 12 equals 18 over x? No. We only do that when it's the sides. 36 over 12 equals blank over blank. Did they give me the sides? No, they gave the bases. When they give the bases, what do you have to do? Redraw. What's the base of the smaller triangle? And the side length here? What's the base length of the larger triangle? And be careful, the side length here, what is it? 48. Now, I've told you before, when these 2 lines are parallel, the triangles will always be similar by angle. Do you have enough to make a proportion? Do you have enough to make a proportion? Okay, so can anybody give it to me? Because you can start off any number of ways. A volunteer, tell me how to write the proportion. No volunteers? No one knows how? A volunteer to tell me how to write my proportion. What was that? 36 over 48 equals 18 over x. That's beautiful. 36 over 48 equals 18 over x. What if you put 18 over x equals 36 over 48? Does that matter? No. Okay, 36x equals, right now you're plugging in your calculator, 48 times 18, and it's what? 864. And then divide both sides by what? 36. And what does x equal? I didn't hear you. 24. Okay, before we put this away, I'm going to have you guys flip over really quick This one, do you see how this is different from the last one I just did? Is this the one where you can do side over side equals side over side? Can you just write that down so you know how to do it later? 15 over 5 equals 27 over x. Is this one like 17 or more like 16 where I have to redraw it? 16 where you have to redraw. So I'm just going to redraw and you guys can finish it later. What's the side length right here for my small triangle? And for the base here, the side length for my large triangle, be careful, 15, and my base here, x. Can anybody give me the proportion? You can solve it on your own. I just need a volunteer to give me the proportion. 15 over 5 equals, be careful, if you do 15 over 5, you do what? X over 7. Now if you wanted to do 7 over x, and you would flip this to 5 over 15. You guys got the hang of it? Okay, tonight I want you finishing this. We'll go over this, a few of them before the test on Thursday. Doing this, and on the back side, I'd like you to skip 25 and 26. Skip 25, 26, but make sure you do 27 because that is on the test. Got it? So you're finishing this if you haven't done it already, skipping these two, and getting the rest of that page done.